Others also. Ram Lakshman, Pratyusha, Sandeep. ఒకసారి మీ వీడియోస్ ఓపెన్ చేయండి. రామ్ లక్ష్మణ్, ప్రత్యూష. Okay, right. Can you give me 1 or 2 points what we discussed in our last class?
Seals of Harappan civilization.
Seals of Harappan civilization and
Water sources.
very good. Okay. So in the last class, we discussed about the seals and sealings and water storage and water sources, particularly in the Indus Valley. Okay. So today we are going to see other things like the social life and social conditions and religious life during these Indus Valley civilization, right? So thank you very much. You can unmute, you can mute your videos. Then I will start with my lecture. Okay, so I have to share my screen. Okay, so today we are going to see about how the Indus Valley society and religious life they follow. Okay, so and along with other things about the economy also. Okay, in the economy, how they had in the economy they had their non-agricultural economy, basically non-agricultural economy in the sense it's nothing but a trade. They depend on the trade and commerce basically. Okay, so in the trade and commerce they had long distance trade basically. Okay, so external trade they followed. So the external trade also they followed with the seaborne trade. Okay, so they are had certain trade relation with other civilizations like Mesopotamia and Egypt and China likewise, and these external links basically with the seaborne. Okay, so though these long distance trade we don't find on the on the land based land route, which basically on the seaboard. Okay, basically through the Persian Gulf, which had a certain relation with the Mesopotamia. Okay, so number of Mesopotamian seals you find in the Indus Valley sites, Indus Valley excavations. Okay, so first of all, we'll see about the society, how the society was there, and any division of society you find. Okay, so because Indus Valley civilization is a urbanized civilization, and urbanized in the sense 90% of no urban society you find. Okay, nearly 60 to 70% urbanized civilization you find. Okay, where the city life they followed and the town structure they followed, and within the town where they had a systematic construction of buildings and towns, and around the towns they had a protective wall. Okay, so based on this we call the Indus Valley as a, a, a urbanized civilization. Okay, so and apart from the urbanized civilization, you also find certain 40 to 50% of rural society also. Okay, you find the villages also. Okay, so and but the majority of people were residing at lived at various towns and cities. Okay, so here we are thinking or we are talking about only the urban society basically. Okay, so apart from the rural, we also had the urbanism we already discussed in our last classes, and we only are talking about the urban aspects. Okay, within the urban aspects, trade and commerce also a important one. Okay, so and within the urban aspect, this growing of the crops also a part and parcel. And within the urban aspects, and supplying these grains from fields to the granaries, and grains from fields to that towns and cities, also a urban aspects. Okay, so all these things we are going to discuss today, particularly in the social life and the religious aspects basically. And apart from this, we also discuss about the economical aspects like the trade and commerce, and what are the various weights and measures they follow. Okay, so what are the various crops they follow, and what are the articles they sold, purchased and sold. Okay, so what type of medium of exchange they followed. Okay, so all these things we going to see today's class. Okay, so first of all we'll see the society. Okay, so like the all societies, Indus Valley society also a certain rough division you find. Okay, so basically rough division in the sense, in the Indian society, from ancient to modern, you find certain divisions in the society. Okay, so based on whatever concept it may be. Okay, so based on the birth, or based on a profession, or based on any other category or other criteria, but you find certain division in the society, Indian society basically. So in the Indian society, from ancient onwards, ancient onwards, you have a division of society, and division on the basis of this, um, based on the, not only based on the birth, but based on the profession, and based on the work, or the based on the labor likewise. Okay, so here, particularly in the Indus Valley civilization, you don't have any literary sources here, basically. But on the basis of these archaeological sources, on the basis of on the basis of certain artifacts what you find at this Indus Valley civilization, we may divide this society into certain categories. Okay, it's totally a rough division. Okay, so we can't say exactly the things are happened at Indus Valley civilization. It's a imaginary view. Okay, so and several classes of people lived and worked for the maintenance of the civic and economic life during the Indus Valley civilization. And the farming communities produced surplus food, which supported not only the ruling elite, but also the traders and the artisans and craftsmen who lived in urban centers. Okay, so and the sewerage system, like the sewerage system, like a drainage system or a cleaning list. Okay, so the system of sewerage probably required the service of scavengers. Okay, so you have certain aspects you find in the Indus Valley civilization, because some section of people may follow the agriculture, because you are well aware that certain remains of these crops you find, like the paddy husk of this rice, and a better quality of barley you find, and a cotton, a cloth or a woven of the cotton you find at Mohenjo-daro. Okay, so all these all these gives about to certain sections they follow. Okay, so you find certain farmers, you find certain agricultural laborers, and you find certain merchants and traders also, because the produced grains or the produced food may transport from one place to another. They can sold and they can sell, purchase from various places on to the from to the various places. Okay, so likewise you find a rough division in the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so in the same way you find the drainage system, a good form of drainage system, and the good form of drainage system may clean or followed by a certain section like a scavengers. Okay, so it is imaginary view. Okay, so exactly the section of scavenger are there or not, we don't know, but we are just expecting. Okay, so where the drainage system is fine, where the sewerage system is fine, there should be a cleaning official. Okay, there should be a cleaning labor. Okay, likewise probably a scavengers maybe you find at Indus Valley civilization. Okay, and the granaries, it is suggested, were maintained with the help of the slaves. Okay, so you find certain granaries at Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, and these granaries, which is stored with certain food and grains. Okay, so for the purpose of future and any calamities are drought prone, any happened in the future, and any food crisis has taken place, these the stored grains at granaries may be used during the time of those crises. Okay, so for maintenance of the granaries, there should be a certain section of the people. Okay, there should be a certain class of the people to maintain these granaries. Okay, and certain section of the people who supply these grains from fields to the granaries, and you find certain terracotta figurines with the bullock cart. Okay, so two bulls were carrying a cart. Okay, a figure you find at yeah, at various executions at Indus Valley sites. Okay, so it shows what, through the bullock cart, these grains may be carried from these fields to the granaries. Okay, you find certain section, it may be followed this supply of grain from these fields to the granaries. Okay, so and we can glimpse a fairly well differentiated society, and the prosperity or poverty of individuals belong to different classes is reflected in the varying size of houses in the cities and towns of Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so we had a certain division of dwellings at the Indus Valley. Okay, where the majority, not majority, in the all towns and cities, you find certain uniform construction of town planning. Okay, so where you find town planning may be divided into three stages. Okay, so one is the lower town, upper town, and middle town. Okay, so in one or two town, in one or two village towns, you don't find a middle town, but majority of the all towns you find these three category of the towns. Okay, so where the lower town you find house with one or two rooms, and at the upper town you find the number of rooms in a house. Okay, so it shows that the upper town is a town for the upper class or upper section, and the lower town is for a servant class. Okay, so it's a such a division you find in later periods also, in ancient, modern, medieval, and modern. Okay, so you had a certain divisions based on the profession, based on the color, likewise. Okay, Chaturvana system from the Rigvedic culture you find. Okay, it's nothing but a division of the society. Likewise, there is a division in the society like upper and lower in the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so the lower houses, the houses in the lower town may be for the these servant class. Okay, so upper town, the houses in the upper town is for the upper class. Okay, so likewise, such a division you find, and um, one more division, is there any is there any ruling class at Indus Valley civilization? For this, many theories you had, according to R.S. Sharma, which is the merchant class, because at the time, number of people who are depend on this trade and commerce, and they followed the long distance trade also, because of the gains. Okay, so because of the gains, these long distance trade has followed. Okay, so where naturally these merchants and traders may be a rich class at that time. Okay, so when the rich class is there, automatically that may be a ruling class. Okay, it's not my opinion. According to the R.S. Sharma, these merchant and traders should be a ruling class there, and this ruling class may be which ruling class may be dominated over all other sections. Okay, so according to um, uh, according to other historians. Okay, so where you find certain section like priest. Okay, so priestly class you may find. Okay, because religion played an important role here. Okay, so but we don't find any exact religion they followed, but based on certain artifacts you find, like the terracotta figurine of Mother Goddess and Pashupati Mahadeva statue, okay, beard man statue. Based on this, certain religion they follow. Okay, so and within the religion there is certain middlemen like priestly class, and according to the D.D. Koshambi, the priestly class may be the ruling class at Indus Valley. Such different opinions, distinguished opinions you find regarding priestly class and regarding this ruling class. Okay, so ruling class may be one of the section in the Indus Valley civilization. Likewise, here those who followed the agriculture is a separate class. Those who followed merchant trading or selling of goods is one of the section. Those who followed these things may be one of the section, and the section who served the above upper classes may be one section, and at the granaries, the maintenance of granaries, the manage of the granaries may be followed by a certain section like a slaves. Okay, so likewise you find certain a section of the classes at Indus Valley, in the Indus Valley society. Okay, so when you see the religion at Indus Valley, and these executions throw light on the religion of the people of this civilization, who appears to have been dominated by one great god, who do not know, we do not know his name or attributes, but he bears a close resemblance to the Shiva as the Pashupati and Nataraj of much later period in the Indian history. Okay, so we generally called him as a proto Shiva, right? So where the Pashupati Mahadeva we called as the Pashupati Mahadeva. Okay, so and the cult of Indus god was connected with fertility and a lingam. Okay, so and even more popular perhaps was a female goddess possessing some of the traits of the mother goddess of the later period. And from the seals, however, the female goddess is absent. The female god is absent, and since these seals are believed to have been used by merchants, and it has been suggested that the merchants of the Indus civilization had developed their own secondary cult in which this mother goddess had no direct share. Okay, so and the terracotta baked clay of deep brown color, which female figurines which have been found in abundance might have been used in domestic worship, and the people. Mobile number, Rashish. 1 second. ఒకటి సరిపోతుంది, అది నీ దగ్గర పెట్టు, జిరాక్స్ ఒకటి చాలు. ఓకే, గ్రూప్లో యాడ్ చేస్తాను, క్లాస్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మీరు జాయిన్ కావాలి. ఓకే, రైట్. వాట్సాప్ నెంబరే కదా ఇది, ఏముండదు, ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్ ఓన్లీ. ఇక తర్వాత చూద్దాం, ఈ సెమిస్టర్ తర్వాతనే ఏదైనా. ఓకే, రైట్. వాట్సాప్ నెంబరే కదా ఇది, రైట్. Okay, so this is these are two. This is a priest king, a seal you find, which is maybe maybe is a ruler, or maybe like a priest king, or it's in the purpose of religion. This seal may be used. Okay, sir, and there is no evidence that priests or monarchs rule the city, and but maybe such a certain figurines you find at Indus Valley, which is made with stone and made with other clay, and such a terracotta figurines you find at Indus Valley. Okay, so where and the people appear also to have worshipped trees, like the natural worship you find. Okay, so worshipping the trees and birds, and also certain other worshipping other these trees and animals, right? Okay, so worshipping animal and birds and trees worshipping you find here. Basically it's nothing but a natural worshipping you find. Okay, so where like the trees, especially the people, and you also find certain spirits also. Okay, so where there is a positiveness or the negative, always you positive you find. Okay, so where there is a god, you find definitely you find an evil. Okay, so likewise the positive and negative things you will find here also. There is a worshipping of trees you find, and in the same way you find certain worshipping of these you find a certain spirits. Okay, so and various animals too appear to have born a special significance for them. Okay, so when you see the Pashupati Mahadeva seal, you find certain animals like the deer, rhino, and elephant, like animals you find, and one more this bull, humped and humpless bull you also find in various seals and terracotta figurines in Indus Valley exhibitions. Okay, so humped bull also an worshipped animal. Okay, so as evident from these executed graves, the people of Harappa buried their dead in north and south direction, depending upon the social position of deceased, and different kinds of goods were also buried with them. Okay, so we already seen this is the various burials you find at Indus Valley sites, and along with their dead body, and you find these other articles also you find along with these burials. Okay, so you find in the second see in the second second picture, where it is called a cyst burial. Okay, so along with this dead body, you find various articles here. Okay, so it may be uh, there is a belief in transmigration of the soul, or like a punarjanma or like that. Okay, so you find in the certain graves or burials, along with the human dead body, you find certain animals also. Okay, so the animals which had association with particular human also buried along with him. Okay, so such type of burials you find in the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so these are certain religious aspects you find when you see the economy basically for agricultural production. Canal irrigation probably was not used by the Indus people. Okay, so because you don't find such a such construction of canals at Indus Valley, because uh, no requirement of constructing these canals, because they are easily getting water from the rivers, and those rivers are frequently flooded, so that these rivers easily giving water to the Indus Valley people. That's why no requirement of construction of canals you find. And when you observe the agriculture, the process of agriculture at Indus Valley, you don't find such a strongest plow. No remain of strongest plow like the plow made with various metals you find at Indus Valley. Okay, so because one or two places you find the wooden plow. Okay, so no plow made with the metal you find at Indus Valley, because of there is a found of a loose soil. Okay, so flood after the floods from the various rivers, and the soil may be loose and had a alluvial soil, and they can easily till with a stick, and they can sow the seeds easily. Okay, so likewise no use of this flow made with various metals they followed. Okay, so and ploughing was used, but deep ploughing was unknown. Okay, that's what I given just before that. So the deep ploughing was unknown because the executed plowshare was made of the wood. Okay, so where you find certain furrows at Kalibangan and some other places, you find the furrows with the marks of this wooden plough. Okay, so however, dams were constructed for flood irrigation, and harrow was used for sowing. Harrow is a implement used for sowing the seeds, and wheat and barley were main food crops and formed the mainstay of life. Though cultivation of rice was unknown in Lothal and Rangapur, only you find certain rices at Lothal and Rangapur, and field peas and dates were other items of the date. Okay, so in their date they use the wheat, barley, peas, and dates, and sometimes they use this paddy. Okay, so in only few places you find this rices, um, um, uh, the artifacts of these rices. Okay, so and sesame and mustard could be used for oil, and sheep, goat, buffalo, and humped cattle were important domestic animals you find at Indus Valley. And there is evidence of dogs, cats, and elephants too. And exhumation suggests that even deer, rhino, tiger, and tortoise were known by these Indus Valley, because you find certain various remains you find at graves and other burials at various towns and cities. For trade, the first level exchange was between the urban centers and villages. Okay, so along with villages, you also find these towns and cities, and the Harappan towns exchanged goods with other towns at another level, and the people of the Indus civilization had direct or indirect contact with many parts of Indian subcontinent and the world. And the items of trade consisted of finished goods as well as raw materials, and the use of pack animals, particularly these bullocks and camels, which is transported the material from one place to the another. Okay, so bullock carts were the important means of transport they used basically. And when you see the non-agricultural trade, basically they had the contact with distance land basically. Okay, so and very archaeological finds suggest that copper was probably brought from the other parts of the world on the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, like that. And certain chemical analysis shows that both the Oman copper. Okay, so copper supposed to be brought from the place of the Oman, where in Arabian Plateau, and the Harappan artifacts have traces of nickel and suggesting a common origin. And there are other traces of contacts as well, and a distinctive type of vessel, a large Harappan jar coated with thick layer of black clay has been found at these Oman sites. Okay, so probably which is art, which is a article belongs to these Dilman. Sorry, not Dilman, Meluha. Okay, so and such thin coating prevent the perlocation of liquids, and we do not know what was carried in these vessels, but it is possible that the Harappan exchanged contents of these vessels for the Oman copper. Okay, so and you also find other copper fields in the Indian sites, basically Indian territories, like K3 mines, which is famous for these copper deposits. Okay, so and Mesopotamian text datable to the text which refers to copper coming from a region called the Magan, perhaps a name for Oman. And interestingly enough, copper found at Mesopotamian sites also contains traces of the nickel. And other archaeological finds suggestive of long distance contacts include Harappan seal, weights, dies, and beads. And in this context, it is worth noting that Mesopotamian texts mention contact with the regions named Dilman. Okay, so probably the island of Bahrain, and Magan and Meluha, possibly the Harappan region. Okay, so they mention the products from the Meluha, like the Carolinian, lapis lazuli, copper, gold, and varieties of wood. A Mesopotamian myth says that says of Meluha, may your bird be the husband, may its call be heard in the royal palace. Some archaeologists think the husband was the peacock. Okay, so did it get this name from its call? Okay, it is likely that communication with Oman, Bahrain, or Mesopotamia was by a sea. Okay, so Mesopotamian texts refer to Meluha as a land of seafarers. Besides, we find depictions of ships and boats on seals. When you see the seal, we already had certain discussion about the seal. Seals and sealings were used for facilitate long distance communication. Imagine a bag of goods being sent from one place to the another, and its mouth was tied with a rope, and on the knot was fixed some wet clay on which one or more seals were pressed, leaving a impression. ఓకే, సో ఎప్పుడైనా సరే ఇవి ఏదైతే కొన్ని వస్తువులని అంటే దూర ప్రదేశాలకు మనం పంపించేటప్పుడు, అంటే ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ కాలంలో, సో ఆ ఏదైతే ఆ బ్యాగుల్లో పంపించినటువంటి వస్తువులని ఒక తాడుతోని ఏదైతే ఏదైతే ఆ బ్యాగ్ అది కట్టివేసిన క్రమంలో ఆ కట్టివేసినటువంటి ఏదైతే ఆ తాడు ఉంటుందో దాని మీద ఈ ముద్రికలు అనేటటువంటి వాటిని అటాచ్ చేసేటటువంటి పరిస్థితి ఉండేది. ఆ ముద్రికల మీద రకరకాలైనటువంటి గుర్తులు ఉండేవి అనమాట. ఓకే, సో అవి రకరకాలుగా ముద్రికలు అనేటటువంటివి క్లేతో కానీ ఇక రకరకాల మెటల్స్తో తయారు చేసినటువంటి అవి ఉండేవి. ఓకే, సో ఇవి దాని ద్వారా ఏంటంటే జనరల్గా అవి ఒక కరెక్ట్ అడ్రస్కి వెళ్తున్నాయా, కరెక్ట్ పర్సన్కి పంపిస్తున్నారా అనేటటువంటి గుర్తింపులో భాగంగా కూడా వాటిని ఆ సీల్స్ అనేటటువంటి ఉపయోగించారు. అట్లనే కాకుండా దీనికి సంబంధించి మరో విధమైనటువంటి అభిప్రాయం ఏంటంటే, ఏదైతే వాటిని అంటే మీకు తెలుసు ఏదైతే ఈ సింధు నాగరికతలో భాగంగా ఏదైతే కొన్ని సూపర్స్టిషియస్ మూఢనమ్మకాలు అనేటటువంటివి మనకి కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి, సో ఆ మూఢనమ్మకాల్లో భాగంగా ఏదైతే కొన్ని మంత్ర ఏదైతే తంత్రాలు లాంటివి ఏవైతే ఉంటాయో, సో అందులో భాగంగా మంత్రించినటువంటి ఆ ముద్రికల్ని కూడా వాటి మీద పెట్టినట్లయితే ఎవరు కూడా ఆ భయంతో ఆ బ్యాగుల్ని ఓపెన్ చేయరు అనేటటువంటి ఒక భావన కూడా ఉండేది. ఇట్లా రకరకాలైనటువంటి అభిప్రాయాలు మనకు కనిపిస్తాయి. సో ఏది ఏమైనప్పటికీ కూడా సీల్స్ ముద్రికలు అనేటటువంటి వాటిని ఏదైతే ఆ దూర ప్రదేశాలకి జరిగినటువంటి వ్యాపారంలోని, సో వీటిని ఆ ముద్రికల యొక్క పాత్ర అనేటటువంటి మనకు కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది. ఇక వెయిట్స్ చూసినట్లయితే, ఓకే, సో వెన్ యూ సీ అబౌట్ ద వెయిట్స్, exchanges were regulated by a precise system of weights usually made of a stone called chet, and generally cubical with no markings, no markings, no markings. The lower denominations of weights were binary, like 1, 2, 4, 8, 12, 32, sorry, 8, 16, 32 likewise. Okay, so while the higher denominations followed the decimal system. Okay, so the smaller weights were probably used for weighing jewelry and beads. Metal scale pans also you find. Okay, so these are certain things about religion and social life, social structure at Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so dear students, this is about my lecture today. We have the less than 1 minute of the time. It may be disconnected anytime. And tomorrow we're going to see about ancient authority at Indus Valley, and finally there is another concept is nothing but decline of Indus Valley civilization. Okay, dear students, are you hearing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. You have any